Welcome to a DIY tag album tutorial. I'm Charee Filimoehala here at the Graphic 45 headquarters, and today in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to take some 12 by 12 papers and turn them into a fabulous interactive album like this one. This album, along with this scrapbook layout, this month have been created for us for our Club G45 Volume 10 by Maria Cole. And Maria, if you know her work, never skimps on the details and always has lots of fun techniques packed into her tutorials. So as you can see, this cover is gorgeous and dimensional, using some fussy cuts and some of the stickers and embellishments. And then creating this album, we're going to be using our artist trading tags and a ribbon to create a really fun and simple binding. And then once we open that up, you can see inside each page houses some great places for photos as well as some great interactive elements. We've got a great waterfall feature on this side, some side loading pockets filled with photo mats as well. And we've got some more great pockets stuffed with cut aparts, great for adding your sentiments and goodies. Here we have a fun tied up accordion mini with a pocket at the end, another side loading pocket, and another tied up little interactive element. This is a Gatefold album. And over here, we've got some cute little cut apart pockets with our black artist trading tags in there. And then of course, my favorite of the new techniques are these hidden pockets or hidden flaps that hide some great little photos for you on this page as well. You've got to love that. And then another great little tag here. So there's a lot of gorgeous places that you can add your photos and your sentiments to this album. And I love that this album would also look great using any paper collection, and it's a whole DIY album system. So there's a lot to learn with this tutorial. And then of course, with the leftovers that we have from our kit, we're going to create this 12 by 12 scrapbook layout. You can find the tutorial link for that in the description below as well, so you can create that after you're done creating this mini with us. So what you're going to get in your club kit this month is our 12 by 12 collection pack. You get 16 double-sided sheets in there, along with 2 6 by 12 cardstock stickers. You're going to be getting our patterns and solids paper pad with 16 sheets. You'll also be getting this great Graphic 45 kit bag to store all your goodies, along with the Graphic 45 black trim and our artist trading tags. And of course, the step-by-step project sheet. So if you're not already a club subscriber, you can do that by hopping on over to our website, g45papers.com, or head over to your local G45 retailer. But of course, if you don't have the kit and you do want to create along with us and learn some fun and fabulous new techniques, just grab some 12 by 12 papers and some embellishments and let's create together. So go ahead, grab your supplies, and let's get started. Let's start this fun DIY tag tutorial. Of course, I'm going to tell you all the measurements and everything you need to know in this video tutorial, but if it's helpful for you to also have the project sheet in front of you, or if you want to recreate this using different papers, that can be very helpful. You are going to get this in your kit if you've got the kit. If you're just creating along with us with your stash at home, you can always print this out from our website at g45papers.com. Just on the top right hand side, just go to the inspiration tab. Go down to project sheets, and there you will find over 30 different project sheets, including this one. For step 1, we are going to be creating the base pages for these 3 inside pages. So to do that, from your patterns and solids paper pad, we are going to grab out 3 different sheets. We're going to grab out this blue sheet with the step right up, the yellow sheet with the nice flourishes on the back, and this blue with the flower print. we will be using them with these sides up, and we are going to cut these down to be 12 inches by 9 inches. Step 2, in your scoreboard, we are going to score at 6 inches on the 12-inch side on all 3 of those papers. And of course, if you don't have a scoreboard, you can use a ruler and some kind of bone folder or scoring device to get this nice little crease. And then we're going to go ahead and fold on our score line. I like to start in the center and then work my way out. Do the same with all 3. Now you want to grab your favorite liquid adhesive, and we are going to seal the top and bottom of these 3 pages shut. So I do recommend using a liquid. Unfortunately, those score tapes don't ever fully dry, and so things can get stuck in the edges of those. So a liquid adhesive is perfect for the job. So we've put adhesive on the edges, leaving it open here so we can have our side loading pages. And then you'll do the same with the other 2. Step 3, from the Come One, Come All collection pack, we are going to take our Step Right Up papers, and we are going to cut 2 of those to be 12 inches by 9 inches. Score both sheets at 6 inches, and then fold and crease with your bone folder. Now for these pages, they're not going to be pockets. These are going to be our front covers, these beautiful red papers. So I'm going to use some tape adhesive, some double-sided tape adhesive on these pages. That way it will give me a little bit of extra strength and structure and a really good bond. So if you do have some double-sided tape, this is a great time to use it. Otherwise, of course, your liquid adhesive is going to work great as well. So I just tried to cover up as much as I can of my surface, and now finding my center point, I am just going to start working my way out. Once you do this with your pages, you can feel that they have a nice heavy consistency to them now. I also really like that using the score tape didn't do any buckling or warping, which is really great for your covers as well. If you are using a liquid adhesive, I would just suggest making sure that you get it everywhere on your cover, and then you get a nice smooth layer of it. So you can use your fingertip or a paintbrush to kind of smooth it out so you don't have any large pockets of wet adhesive, which will make it kind of warp and buckle. From your black artist trading tags, we're going to grab out 2 of those tags, and we're going to grab a pencil and a ruler. Now we want to be marking our paper with the nice smooth side to the left, and our sides that we joined together are going to be on the right. That'll be the same on all of our pages, just so you know. And then we're going to take a ruler and we're going to measure 1 inch from the top, as well as 1 inch from the bottom, which is that 8-inch mark. So we've got 2 marks. And now we are going to create our binding system using these tags. So I'm going to add adhesive onto my black tag with the smooth beveled side up of the grommet. And I'm going to leave about a 1/4 of an inch from the top rounded area unadhered. And then with that top 1-inch pencil mark, I am going to have that be flush with the top of my tag side. And once I find a nice even placement, like so, we can take our bone folder and bond these together. So look on the other side, looking good. And then we'll do the same again with the second one. So add our adhesive, about 1/4 of an inch from those top curves. And this one is just going to be flush with that 1 inch mark from the bottom, at the bottom of our tag, making sure our curves are nice and even. And then once you like your placement, go ahead and burnish that down. And then repeat that process for all of your pages we've created so far. If you want a quick hack, we can also just use these as templates. So I've got my next paper that I need to add my tags to. So just making sure that I've got my folded edge with the other folded edges and that it's nice and lined up with the other ones. I can go ahead and just use those tags as my template. So add your adhesive and then line that up, making sure your tag is looking nice and straight. And do the same with the second one. So remember, I'm putting my adhesive on my smooth grommet side. My pages are lined up, and then line up this tag with the others. Also making sure it's nice and straight with your paper. Then we can flip that over, making sure we like the placement of everything and burnish it down. From your Patterns and Solids pad, we are going to locate the black flourish, red text, a red and white circle, the blue circus imagery, and a black text. And we're going to cut all these pieces to be 12 inches by 8 5/8. Step 6, from there we're going to take those cut papers and we're going to cut each one into 2 pieces that are going to be 5 5/8 by 8 5/8. And this is the order that we're going to adhere these papers in later. Black solid, black floral, red text, red circles, blue circus, black text, red solid, black solid, blue solid, and red solid. Step 7, we're going to take 2 sheets of That's Incredible and we are going to cut out the following things. We need 1 of these Come One, Come All. We need 2 of these Attractions Prizes. We're going to do 1 That's Incredible Acrobats, 1 Ferris Wheel, 1 Marvelous High Wire Axe, 1 See the Magic Show, 2 of Ride the Carousel, and from this Admit One we are going to cut out the Admit One ticket and 1 we will have diamonds intact. Step 8, we're going to get your tickets and we're going to trim off these borders. We're going to take this beautiful striped border with the flourish, this Come One, Come All border here, this nice yellow polka dot floral, this black and red with the fleur-de-lis, the cotton candy Ride Games, the ticket border, the border with the big top tent, another one of these gorgeous floral yellow and black pieces, the blue Step Right Up, and that's what we're going to use from our border paper. Step 9, we're going to grab our best fussy cutting scissors and we are going to fussy cut out one of these large beautiful blossoms. So you can see we've got some nice greenery here on the left and bottom, and over here on the right we have some white and blue flowers with this big red one in the center. And just in case you're new here to our Graphic 45 tutorials, let me do a little quick tutorial through some fussy cutting. So what we want to do first is grab our finest, sharpest scissors And then we are going to do a loose cut around what we want to fussy cut. We want to make sure that we are not going over into something that we might want to use later. So being mindful of that, but just doing a quick cut. Once you've released that gorgeous image from that large 12 by 12 paper, it's going to be a lot easier to get in there and work out these details. So now we are just going to take those scissors and the paper that we are working with and just start to drive your blade through the paper. And this, you can go as slow or as quickly as you want. You can also get as detailed. I think the most important thing is that you are enjoying yourself. So if you're one of those few people who do not like fussy cutting, you can always leave out the fussy cutting steps and add other embellishments where we use fussy cuts, or leave it more simple. You do what's right for you. What's fun about Graphic 45 is that our papers have so many layers to them, and they're just built up collages, which, if you know the history of Graphic 45, you'll know that my mom, the CEO and head designer of Graphic 45, Diane Schultz, she went back to college to get her graphic design degree, and she graduated at the age of 45. And to honor that achievement, she named this company Graphic 45. And while she was in college, she was given the nickname The Blade, because she did so many of her assignments using an X-Acto knife and collaging, which, if you see our papers now, you can really see Diane's love for collage and love for fussy cutting preceded even our earliest scrapbooking days. And don't be afraid to snip off anything we don't need anymore. We don't need to be carrying around that excess weight. We don't need that old baggage hanging around. But I know a lot of our design team members and a lot of our faithful G45ers love picking out maybe a favorite show or podcast and just getting busy with the new collections when they get them, and just doing some fussy cutting until the creative mojo strikes and they know what they want to create. So it's a fun way to create some embellishments while you're kind of figuring out the details of your next paper project. I know it can be so very soothing. I have to tell you, I'm working with these new scrapbook.com fine tip scissors, and I do like them a lot. But there is a learning curve to getting new scissors. I've been using the cutter bees for so long that I guess I didn't realize that they're not all the same. We would love to hear what your favorite fussy cutting scissors or tools are in the comments below. And then once you're done, you should have a piece that looks like this. Step 10, we're going to start creating this beautiful cover. So I'm taking these two border pieces and I'm trimming them down to be 5 5/8 of an inch. And then these are going to adhere onto the bottom of our black piece. Next up, we're going to take this border piece and we're going to fussy cut out this ticket with the magician and this admit one ticket. So I'm just gonna loosely cut around there and save those other pieces. And now we can just break these two images apart and fussy cut around the rest. Next, we're going to add some adhesive to the back of this attractions, prizes, rides, and games, and then center this in our black area that we have remaining. And now layer on your tickets that we fussy cut out. Just a little bit on a diagonal to add some fun interest. Add some foam adhesive to the back of your circle sticker and layer that over your tickets. Add some foam adhesive to the back of our beautiful fussy cut floral left-hand corner. And then last but not least, we're going to add some foam adhesive to the backs of these cute little pennant stickers. And then arrange them in the top right-hand corner. And then we're going to adhere this down onto our front cover, making sure our tags are on our left side with those nice rounded grommets. Step 11, we're going to take the B side of Come One, Come All and cut one piece to be 4 3/4 by 7 3/4. And then we're going to cut out two pieces that are 3 1/4 by 6 1/2. From there, we're going to cut off the top corners of those two pieces to create some cute little tags and then punch a hole. So to do that, I'm just going to take some scissors and cut one of my corners off, and then I'm going to flip that corner over and put it in my opposite corner. And then using that as a guide, I'm going to take those scissors and trim off my other corner. That way I'll have a nice and even tag corners, so I don't have one side that has a larger or a different diagonal than the other. And then taking a hole punch or a crocodile, just punch a hole in the top. Step 12, we are going to start on our page 1. So we're going to flip over our front cover and get to work. So the first thing we want to do is adhere our black flourish paper down in the center of this. Now with all these different layers we've got going on our front cover, it's starting to feel very sturdy, which you've got to love for a DIY album. Trim our magic show border to be 8 5/8 of an inch long, and then we're going to just adhere the tops and bottoms, creating a nice belly band. So I'm going to do about a 1/2 inch, 1/4 of an inch of adhesive, so it's going to have a good bond to our page 1, and adhere that down to the center of our page 1. So then we've adhered our marvelous high wire act to the center of our belly band, making sure that it doesn't stick to our page. And then once everything's dried, you can take your stripe tag and just slide it in underneath. And then using our number stickers that you get in your collection pack, we are going to number our pages. So in the bottom right-hand corner, I am going to add my number 1. Step 13, we're going to locate our yellow patterns and solid paper with this fun carnival pattern. And we're going to cut out one piece that's going to be 4 inches by 7 inches. And then we'll cut out 4 pieces that will be 4 by 6. 2 of them patterned side, right side up, and 2 of them solid side with the pattern upside down on the back. Cut our striped border into 4-inch pieces, and 2 of them we will adhere onto our yellow solids with the stripes facing upward. And then take all 4 of these 4 by 6s and score about a 1/2 inch on the 6-inch side. Fold all 4 of those on those score lines. The next step says to take some wet or dry adhesive and add to the 1/2 inch marks that we scored and folded. However, then there's a note that says that assembling the waterfall will be easier if you do a liquid adhesive. So if you're doing a liquid adhesive because it's easier, by all means do that, but do not add your adhesive at this point. We'll add it in a minute. If you added the dry adhesive like I did, then you'll do it how I did it. And then our next step is we are going to take that 4 by 7 inch piece, and we are going to draw a line from the top at a 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1.5 inches. So you can use a ruler and pencil for this, or you can do what I've done and use your scoreboard and a pencil to help line that up for you. Now we're going to put our waterfall together. So I have my first of the bunch is the pattern side up, and then I've got my 1/2 inch folded down with my adhesive line, or I took my adhesive backing off, and now I can line this up with my 1.5 inch mark from the top. And then I also want this to be flush with the bottom of my paper, so doing that the best I can. And then we'll just keep that cycle going. So take off my backing and fold back my waterfall. This next one I want to line it up with my 1 inch mark and have be nice and even going down onto another decorative paper, lining that up with that 1/2 inch mark and having it all fall down. And then my last piece is just going to be flush with the top of my 4 by 7. We can burnish this piece into place. And if you want to know a secret, on my first two, I put my adhesive on the wrong side. So that was ending up showing on my final piece. So I'm just taking some scrap paper that I've got left over from our floral gala, and I've cut this to be just over 1/4 of an inch. And so now I have those covered up, and it does add even a little bit more decoration. So you can just see it here and here again. So if you ever make a mistake like I have, and I imagine maybe some of you have out there, then you can always, use your scrap papers in unique ways, and don't fret about it at all, because it can add some extra color, which makes it look even nicer. Step 17, page 2. We've got our blue page with the grommet side up. We are going to take our red text, and this is going to adhere right into the center of our blue. Then we're going to adhere that 4 by 7 inch part of our waterfall to the center of our red, leaving about 1 inch from the top and bottom. So then from our sticker page, we are going to cut out this pennant section. So we want this, and then we're going to do a little bit of fussy cutting, leaving the backing on to our sticker. So just cutting the sticker out with leaving that backing on. It's a fun new way to use a sticker. So add some foam adhesive on the back side of the rounded bottom area of your sticker that we cut out, and this will adhere to the center bottom, keeping your waterfall nice and closed. But you do want to make sure that all of your pages can flip up nicely and then tuck back in underneath. Once you've done that, grab your number 2 sticker and add that to the bottom right of the red, like so. Step 18, we're going to find this yellow paper from your patterns and solids and cut it to be 4.5 by 7.25. Then using a pencil and a ruler, we are going to mark the top 2.5 inches over from the left, and from the top going down on the left hand side, we'll mark at 3.25 inch. And then taking your ruler, you will connect those dots. And then trim off that corner. And then we're going to flip over to page 3 and then adhere this red circular pattern down on top of page 3.
Then add adhesive to the back of the yellow on all edges except for the diagonal.
Trim the come one, come all border to 4.5 inches and adhere flush to the bottom of the yellow. And then we're going to take our admit one with the diamonds still on and add adhesive in a U shape to create another pocket and adhere that about 1/8 of an inch from our come one, come all border. And then don't forget to stuff your pockets. So taking that admit one ticket and ride the carousel, those are going to be stuffed right in there. And then last but not least, add that 3 sticker to the bottom of your page. Step 20, we're going to take Fun and Games and cut it into 2 pieces. So we have 2 pieces that are 12 inches by 6 inches. And then score both pieces vertically at 4 inches and 8 inches. Cut the carousel border into 3 4-inch strips. Step 21, piece A, we're going to take this See the Magic Show 4x6 and adhere it on to our left panel. I'm just folding on my scored edge so I can see where it goes edge to edge. Add 1 carousel border to our center panel. Again, I'm folding, making sure everything is going to fit and it's nice and flush. And it does go off a little bit on the edge, so I'm just going to trim off my excess. And then this panel here, I'm going to mark an X on it because I will not be using that and we'll be adhering on that later. With our piece B, we have our 2 remaining carousel borders on the left and center panel. And then of course, making sure that everything's still bending and moving like we want it and laying in place. And then we are going to take our That's Incredible, cut apart and add adhesive in a U shape, a liquid adhesive. So this is a nice little pocket for us at the end of our accordion fold. And then we're going to fussy cut out another small and medium ticket. And these little ticket cuties are going to go right into your pocket once your adhesive is dry. Step 22, we're taking piece A and we've added adhesive to our section, our right section that we put an X through. And we're going to take our piece B and we're going to adhere our left hand over our right hand pieces to create a nice accordion. Of course, we want to be making sure everything is fitting nicely before we burnish this down. So once you find that sweet spot, you can go ahead and squeeze out all those air pockets. And then grab your black trim and we're going to use the satin for this. And we're going to take out 2 feet of that. And we are going to take that 2 feet that we've cut out and find our center spot and tie this down like so. You want to make sure that we are nice and smooth on the back. So now we're going to take our page 4 and our blue carnival side up and adhere that down. And before we adhere this down, if you want to do any trimming or anything to the edges of your ribbon, now would be a good time. So I just want to clean mine up and have a bit of a diagonal. Like so. And then also, if you don't want these to fray, you can always use a bit of some fire. You could use a match or some kind of lighter and just do a quick pass over on those edges. So you can see I took mine off my paper because I don't want it to be around paper and adhesive since those can be flammable, but I just did a quick 1 second pass and now those edges have melted together, which makes them makes it a lot harder for those to fray at this point. So go ahead and retie this. Now that I have this tied and how I like it, I can go ahead, straighten it up in the back and add my adhesive. Because this is a movable piece in my album, I do want to make sure I'm using some good strong adhesive, and I also put some underneath my ribbon as well as on top of my ribbon. And now this is just going to go in the center of your page. Next, add 3 circle stickers to the bottom, a carnival sticker at the top, and our number 4 at the bottom right. Step 24, find this black sheet with the flourish and cut it to be 12 inches by 7 inches. And then score this at 3 3/4 and 8 1/4. And then fold on those score lines. Step 25, we're going to locate our second sheet of Get Your Tickets, and we're going to cut 1 to 4 inches by 6 1/2. 2 to 3 1/4 by 6 1/2, and 2 to 3 1/4 by 5 1/2. Step 26, we adhered our 4 inch by 6 1/2 inch to the center, and on the sides we did our 2 smallest pieces that are 3 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch. Cut this red and black border piece to have 2 of them that are going to be 3 1/4 inch, and then with the red side up, this will adhere just underneath your red polka dots on the left and right hand side. Flip that over and adhere your 2 remaining polka dot pieces down onto your left and right hand flaps. Add these 4 stickers. Step 28, page 5, we've adhered down our black text onto our gold paper. We've cut 2 feet of our grosgrain ribbon, and I'm just going to clean up my edges before we get in too deep. Just have them cut a little bit on a diagonal, and then cleaning those up with a quick pass with some fire to seal up those edges so they don't chatter and fray. And then this is just going to tie around horizontally. So we've got our bow tied, and now we can adhere this onto our page. So just like the last one, we want some adhesive underneath our ribbon as well as on top. That way it'll adhere our ribbon in place and we'll have a nice good bond. Add sticker number 5. Step 29, page 6. We're going to adhere our red solid onto our blue dot. From our cut aparts, we are going to add adhesive in a U shape behind Ride the Carousel. And this is going to be about 1.5 inches from the top in the center. And just to give our pocket a little space to put our tag in, I'm just going to squeeze my top corners together just a tiny bit. That way leaving a little bit of space in there. And then I'm going to do the same with this carousel, or this Ferris wheel rather, about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. Add these 3 stickers. And then once your pockets have dried, we can pop in our last 2 artist trading tags. Step 30, we found our second sheet of floral gala, and we've cut this to be 4 3/4 by 7 3/4. And then we have 2 more pieces from that same paper that are 4 inches by 3 inches. Now with the gold side up, we have placed them on top of our larger floral gala piece, and I have about the same sides from the side and top. And I'm going to hold that in place, and I'm going to trace the right, bottom, and left hand side, like so. And then taking my bone folder, I'm going to hold this down and use my bone folder just to go across the top. And then do the same with the second piece, finding those edges that are the same size on bottom, left, and right. And then take your bone folder and go over that top line. Here we are creating our hidden flaps. And then using an X-Acto knife or a paper trimmer like this one, where you can pick up and drop your blade, you're just going to go ahead and cut on all of your pencil marks, making sure not to cut your score lines. So once you've cut out those edges, making sure all edges are coming out, I'm just going to use my fine tip scissors to help me with this last piece. And now we can use our bone folder to score up on our score line. And if you've got any stray edges like I do, just clean that up. Now we've created our hidden flaps. Step 31, we are going to adhere this onto that come one, come all B-side we cut out earlier. So I do not want to put any adhesive where my flaps are, just on my flat areas. And then this is going to go perfectly on this striped piece, matching up our corners. How much fun is this? So we're taking that page 6, we're going to flip it over and adhere down this black solid onto the center. And then adhere your hidden flaps to the black. And then add your stickers. Step 33, page 8, we are adhering our solid blue paper onto our last red back cover page. We're going to take this border, take it down vertically, and trim to fit. Once we've done that, add your adhesive to the top and bottom, creating a nice and sturdy belly band. And adhere it to the center of our page. We're going to take this cut apart and adhere it to the center of our belly band, just in the center. Making sure, of course, that we do not glue this down. So we're going to take our DIY tag that we created and make sure that we didn't glue anything down. That can stuff right into our pocket. And then we have these leftover pieces from this hidden page that I'm also going to stick these little photo mat into my front and back as well. And then adhere a number 8 at the bottom. Step 34, adhere the red solid cardstock onto our back cover. Step 35, we're gonna take Big Show and cut 2 pieces to be 4 inches by 6 inches. And then we already cut out this come one, come all, cut apart from That's Incredible. And now we're going to just create some fun little side loading photo mats. So we are going to be using some stickers that have coordinating A and B sides. And we'll just be creating some fun little what's the word? I just drew a blank. Pull tabs. There we go. So just have these staggering. So I put the first one on the middle. So the second one, come all. That's going to go towards the top. And then just find the matching one and match it up on the back. And then this is going to be towards the bottom. There you have it. Now we have made some really fun and easy photo mat cut aparts. Now we're going to take our stack. I'm going to put my first photo mat in between my pages 2 and 3. And my second one is going in between pages 4 and 5. And my third one goes between 6 and 7. Now we are going to bind it all together. So we love this simple tag hinge that we've got going on. And now we're going to take this beautiful chevron ribbon, and we've cut out 2 pieces that are 18 inches. And I'm going to doll mine up a little bit. You can leave them nice and straight how they are. A V here. I'm going to keep this pinched while I do my fire method. So just a quick zip and then pull that apart. Now I have a beautiful little V that won't fray. And I'm going to do that same trick with all 4 of my ribbon ends. So each ribbon end has 2 ends. Voila. Now it's time to thread this through and do our binding. So I'm just going to fold my ribbon in half again and get my chevron going through each of my tag holes. So I'm doing the top ones now, and you can see that I already did my bottom set. So once you have it through all of your tags, you can go ahead, make sure that those are nice and straight. Find the center. And now we are going to do a double knot. So I don't want this to go tight on my tags. I want it to be a good width. I would say about 2 fingers. You could slip 2 fingers underneath. That's how I hear a dog collar should fit as well. So if you can fit about 1 to 2 fingers in there, which should be good, and double knot that. And then I'm just going to do my bunny ears and through the hole, and then just work with that until you have it how you like it. So there you have it. We have now bound up our DIY tag album. This album is so super cute. I love all the dimension and all the fun techniques that we learned while putting this one together. So we hope that you enjoyed creating along with us. Of course, we want to see what you created, so go ahead and share your projects with us on Instagram using that graphic45 hashtag. And if you're looking for more great tutorials like this one, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and then hit that notification bell so you're alerted every time we post a fabulous tutorial like this one. We thank you so much again for joining us. And as always, happy paper crafting.